All right, let's try and keep a dog from stepping on this phone.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. This dog has chosen me as tribute.
We're going to do another
to the pug god.
Small episode of pre-games. For my next game will be Radford and then Lloyd's, 1 week apart from each other. So we likely won't record an episode in between those two because we'll be very tired and we'll be prepping for the Lloyd game. Matt, what are your next games? You've got Radford and Lloyd's as well, but
Yeah, so Radford and Lloyd are the only games that are truthfully on the books for me. I may be throwing at the Richmond Highland Games November 4th. That is what I would consider my home games, but is yet to be determined as I have not been invited to it yet.
Alex.
Or maybe ever.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of favors for Mazda recently. I'm very much hoping that I can get my way in there, but we'll see what happens. And then the Holiday Highlander in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is a fantastic thing run by Willie and Kendra Dancer.
Absolute dolls.
Raise money for Continuing the Mission, a non-for-profit that gives dogs to service members. So it's
if you like dogs and veterans,
right, then it's a good thing.
And if you don't like it, you hate dogs and veterans.
You hate America and you don't belong in our podcast. Anyway, and it's at a brewery/winery. They're two buildings owned by the same people, but so it's not / it's brewery and winery. But anyway, it's an awesome venue. It's really fun. They have a strongman comp. They have a Highlander comp. They have dancing and stuff. It's a whole fun time. So I should be throwing at that. We have to kind of figure out the logistics about it, but
you're hoping to.
I have a strong suspicion that that will come through as a game for me. What about you? Just have
I have
right?
Yeah. Well, and then I will also do Richmond. But I figure
yeah.
we'll do a Richmond pregame.
Yeah.
If you get an invite and we'll have the time to. I just wanted to mash Radford and Lloyd's together because they're only 1 week apart.
Yep. And
right after Radford, we're going to have to go into full AD mode to get all that stuff prepped for Lloyd's the next coming weekend, So, unlike VSG, ECCs, whatever you want to call it, I am now just feeling perpetually beat up and tired. Like,
yeah.
I've been gassing pretty hard, like trying to get my lightweight to get better because it's just not there, but also just operating on a higher level with like sheaf and wob and stone. I've been pouring it on because I had the time to do it between comps, right? So I had more than a month between, so I knew that I could beat myself up for 3 straight weeks, which is kind of what I've been doing. I have not been in the gym very much. I've just been throwing a lot.
Right.
And that's where I've been at training-wise. What I'm hoping then is to put together a nice little recovery deload week right before Radford. And then to not go too crazy in between Radford and Lloyd's. Maybe throw twice and throw light things with moderate intensity. Because honestly, Lloyd shouldn't be that crazy hard of a game for me. Radford's going to be really hard. Like, we can just dive straight into this. Radford is stacked this year in the AM division, at least from my perspective, right? So you've got Patty, who has a very real chance of just sweeping all events, right? Like, he's going to take 9 to 10 points and probably run away with it.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 of us that are really fighting for the remaining 2 podium spots, right? So you've got me, Willie Danzer. Who else was it? I made a whole sheet. We just didn't prep for this.
Bryce?
Bryce is there, and Bryce will be in the mix. I don't know that he's fighting for a podium spot. There's one guy. Shoot, who is it? Do you want to pull up the Radford list on your phone?
Yeah.
Have you got that somewhere handy?
I can.
But long story short, I think so. Basing it off of a spreadsheet I made, I think it's between me and Willie for second. But this other guy that could potentially come in third was not far off, like close enough to for sure make it a gamble.
I literally have the guy's face in my head. I just can't.
And he'll be with our luck. He's like a huge fan of the podcast, and then he'll be offended that we forgot his name briefly.
Oh, Brett Bracken. Is it Brett?
Is it Brett?
Is it Brett?
Go to the Facebook thing that Chad
yeah.
has. So why are you going to Nat?
I don't know. I'm stupid.
Dick shit. God, one of us had to be the brains, and somehow it's me.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Are you just on Chad's profile?
Yeah, I don't know.
He posts way too much.
Is
you
it
need
in
to,
Radford?
You need to search Radford Highland and then see if it. Yeah. he made an athletes page and then go to discussion. And then, do you guys really like this premium content where I tell Matt how to navigate Facebook to get to Chad's?
Yeah. Jamie, look it up.
Jamie,
me.
pull up how many midgets it takes to throw the Radford games. Athlete list. Come on, man.
I'm trying so hard. Greg Martz is my judge at Radford, which is very exciting. It won't be biased at all.
Are y'all throwing on the same flight as us?
I know. I think we have our own shit.
All right, here we go. Radford list. It was Keck, I think. Keck and TJ McMurray both put up really good numbers. So it ended up being really... and so is Jeremy Robinson, right? So, like, on a whole...
Jeremy had a hell of an ECC.
He had a great ECCs, man. He really pulled it out. I should actually probably factor those into the spreadsheet, but It's so close now that who cares? It'll be what it be. I think on my spreadsheet, it was Patty running away with it, right? And then me, Willie, and Spencer.
Pierce is a good thrower, too. So, he's inconsistent.
That's Pierce's Achilles heel. He's inconsistent. But what'll happen is Pierce will rob a couple points in Braemar and maybe Open. And then, so one of Jeremy Robinson's strengths the other day at ECCs, though, was hammer. He had a really good hammer day. We don't throw hammers at Radford.
Sheaf, yeah.
You know, so, and he had a really good sheaf day, but that's the first really good sheaf day I've seen him have in a little while, I think.
Oh, he's throwing PRs, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that's the thing. While he threw really well at ECCs, I don't know... he might surprise me. But what I'm thinking has happened is guys like Bryce, Justin, and Robinson are going to steal a couple points here. And TJ McMurray, too. He has a couple of really good events. So they'll all steal a couple of points in their specialty events. But I think as far as well-rounded throwers, after Patty, it's Willie, Keck, and me. If I'm remembering my number sheet correctly. I could be misspeaking. But I think... And that's to say, like, that one of us doesn't leave it out front on a wob. Or, you know, anything could happen come game day. But my point being that there are five other really good throwers there. And there's only 3 podium spots. So, like, hypothetically, if everyone else threw average and I threw my best game, I'd come in second.
Right.
But I'm feeling beat up, so, like, who knows? I'd be happy just to podium. I'd be ecstatic to take second, you know? So...
yeah.
That's kind of my hope. If I don't podium, I'll probably be a little disappointed in myself because I think I am, with the exception of lightweight, a pretty well-rounded athlete. And I do have to put it in perspective that actually my lightweight scores are not horrible. They're on par for the majority of A's in this region. I just think compared to my other events, they're bad.
Right.
So throw a 14-foot wob and I've only thrown over 60 in the lightweight once. Like that's dumb.
Right.
So. If I can get my lightweight up, I'd have. If I PR'd lightweight that day, I'd probably take second pretty easily.
Right.
You know, because it's just so interesting, right? Because like if I'm remembering right, I think Spencer was a former track guy. So with him, it was like stones and weights. Willie's well-rounded, but Willie's typically a better weight thrower than me on a whole. So like I'd catch Willie in stones, he'd take me in weights. Typically at most comps, I could beat Willie at hammers. But we don't throw hammers at Radford. So being half a foot taller than Willie, that advantage now kind of goes out the window, you know? And then if Willie has a good sheaf day, we tie up there, you know, I got to get him in wob, which is doable as long as but my lower back and my hamstrings have just been so tight lately that I've been inconsistent at wob. I'm good at it. It's just all over the place, you know? And then right. Yeah. So you've got a guy then like Pierce, who is going to throw good weights and is capable of a good wob. So, like, that'll throw something into the mix. So it really does... Radford's going to be an interesting bag, and it's... I also haven't taken into account that, with any luck, everyone else is feeling fatigued. You know? Like, no one else is probably throwing their... I know Willie's throwing a lot of games, but I don't know about McMurray and Pierce. They may still feel fairly fresh because they don't throw as many games as the rest of us, you know?
Yep.
So, it's a whole lot of talking to say that I hope I come in second. I'd be okay if I came in third. I think both of those are very doable. One is going to require a nearly flawless day, and the other one is going to require me to at least be consistent, you know? So, that's where I'm at with Radford. Matt's still looking at database stuff here.
No, I'm ready.
Okay, then
So-
if you want to take your Radford.
Yeah, I also am going to weigh in on the women, but we'll look at that together. We'll
do that.
Because there is a mix-up in the women, but I don't know
What?
if you've seen that. But
No, I haven't looked.
So for the pro men, it's Jonathan Harding, Wes Kaiser, Thor Geifelson, and myself, Matt McDougall. So
With no hammers.
with no hammers, Thor is also a first-year pro. He has the entire year under his belt instead of just the last
Not
quarter.
the entire. He threw AMs at Port.
You're correct.
He has a bulk of the year.
Yeah, he has most of the year as a pro. But he hasn't had standout marks yet as a pro. And he is kind of known as a hammer guy. We're not throwing hammers. My hammers are currently better. Then again, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to do that anyway. But anyway, with the events we're throwing, I feel pretty confident about being better than Thor in this. I believe Jonathan is a more consistent thrower than Wes. Wes has better numbers. Jonathan is better at hammers. Sorry, Wes is better at hammers than Jonathan, though. We're not throwing hammers. Lately, John's been better at hammers. But I think John's going to take it.
I think Wes will get him in sheaf.
Yeah, Jonathan hates sheaf. I think I'll get Jonathan in sheaf.
Yeah.
I did last time. So, no, I didn't. We tied. But, like, our 20-pound PRs are
Close, yeah.
very similar. And so, like, I think that I'd be sad with anything less than podium. I think I could do as well as second. If Wes and John both fuck up, though, like, it is not out of the question for me to win. I have to have an excellent day on stones, though. Weights, I'm in the mix. Sheaf, I'm probably the second, but Wes is better than me. Wes is better than everyone. But actually on leaderboard right now, he is, I think. But like, Wes is gonna win sheaf. Jonathan's gonna win the stones. How
are their wob numbers? I haven't paid that much attention.
John has thrown 16 this year. Wes has thrown 17 this year.
Okay.
So Wes can
win wob.
Wes can win wob. I can throw 16 if I actually get, a dick out of my ass. But, and John can throw whatever he feels like he needs to throw at the end of the day as long as he doesn't leave it out front. But John is one of those athletes that, that is incredibly efficient with his wob throw and may just leave it out front. Same thing with Wes. He almost zeroed out at VSG. But both of those guys are top 10 in the North Americas, arguably in the world. So I expect third. I could do better if they fuck up.
Yeah. It's kind of like me taking second in the AMs. If I had a flawless day and someone else stumbles, I'll take second for sure. Other than that, it's going to be back and forth. And yeah, there really are. I tried to make a prediction sheet, but there's too many variables. There's too many other athletes in the AM group that are good at 1 to 2 events that are going to snatch a point here or there, and makes it really hard to figure out,
The women's side.
Oh yeah, so what's going on with the women?
Okay, so the women that are on the list. Let me pull this back up. Discussion. Sorry, I was on the interwebs. Let me go back.
He was. So we've got Haley.
Yes, we
Manipul.
have Haley Manipul at her second game ever.
Nina Elliott, her second game ever.
We have. Oh my god.
God, you
Oh,
could
here
have
we go. I got
screenshotted
it.
it.
No, we're fine. All right, women. We already said Haley. Nina, who is our sponsored athlete. We have Thor's girlfriend, who doesn't do Facebook. Chad's quote, not mine. Caro, is that her name?
I think so. It
Sounds
sounds very.
right.
I'm so horrible with names. I'm sorry because she was an absolute sweetheart.
Oh, she's such a
at
nice woman.
Port.
Yeah.
I would never remember the name of a nice woman.
Yeah. Then you have Morgan King, who is throwing it with her off arm because she broke her throwing arm. Then you have HMAC, Heather Mackenzie Haddock, who is just fine last time I saw her, which was a week ago. And then you have Kendra Dancer, who I would say would sweep, but Kendra broke her foot.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Is she still going to throw?
I fucking doubt it.
Ooh. Okay.
So, and if she does, she can't pivot on it. And in that case, I think that Nina Elliott could win.
I think there's a really good chance.
A fair possibility
that Nina's going to win her second game.
Right. So she's made tremendous strides. Heather is a good thrower.
Yeah, Heather's a good thrower.
If not, Heather is the favorite, I think, in this situation.
With Morgan throwing with her off arm and with Kendra out,
right?
I would agree. But to Leia, can you pull up Nazca's Whitstock numbers right quick? Nina's first game. Just so I can make sure I don't misquote something here. How do you not have Nazca open? You always do.
I do. It's
okay, then get there already. Go.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Probably fastest if I go.
So this was Nina's first game, right? With 2 to 3 weeks of practice under her belt. The ones that I know she did, I know she turned a 12 on caber.
Yep.
She threw a 10-foot wob and a 15-foot sheaf.
There we go. You don't have to guess. All right, in order, traditional order here.
So what I want to do, if Heather's the favorite, I want you to read Heather's numbers and then Nina's number.
Okay, from Whitstock?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So, Heather's Braemar, 13-pound stone, 23, half an inch. Nina's Braemar, 13-pound stone, 21.6.
Like, to be within 2 feet of a woman that gets elite invites at your first game is good. And
Absolutely.
Nina's stones are getting better.
Yep. Open stone, 10 pounds, 25.10 for Heather, and 22.5 for Nina.
Again, a less than 10% difference.
Yeah.
So, and we're just having Nina power throw the open stone right now. She's starting to play with a decathlete move. Yeah. But yeah.
Heavyweight for distance. Heather threw it 29.11. Nina threw it 25 2.25.
Which is, I love her heavy, and her heavyweight shot
if she
up.
connects on one, she's going to throw 35 plus.
Yeah, like her weights, her light and her heavy have jumped. They've done that newbie jump recently, and they have gone up significantly.
Yep. Heather, 50 foot, 6.5 on the lightweight. Nina, 39.5.
Okay.
Again, her lightweight is sparked. Every one of her throws was over 40 the other day.
Yeah.
She had a couple in the 45.
Even if she takes second in lightweight, if her throws have trended a lot like mine have, and if lightweight ends up as a nagging event, which I've proven that doesn't end everything. So,
no hammers.
Right?
Yeah. Caber, both 12s. Nina did have one more 12 than Heather.
Yeah. Nina, actually, we even gave her a heavy stick at practice the other day, and she turned it on her first pull. So
there we go. Sheaf, 17, Heather, 15, Nina. She's going to be fine on Sheaf. She'll definitely PR. I don't know by how much. Weight for height, Heather, 11, Nina, 10. She's on 13.
She's through 13 in practice,
right?
Like 3 times the other day.
So
she'll open at 12. Like if she listens to me, if she is feeling good, she may come in at 11 if she gets unsure of herself.
At the end of the day. Well, actually, it might be the first of the day for her.
Yeah.
So
dude, if she throws wob out of the gate, she'll throw over 13 at Radford.
I agree. Yep.
Like if she actually, with a little bit of comp adrenaline in her, and if she's fresh, she could throw 14 at Radford.
Right. So
her wob. There was a day where we went out in practice, and I gave her 1 cue, and I swear I was literally trying to send Matt and Jordan video footage of it, and they were going off the screen.
Yeah. So, wild card pick here, I'm going to have to go with Nina.
Nina, no, Elliott.
I just think it would be fun.
I would love it. I'd be ecstatic. So, yeah. Nina, don't let us down. We just talked a whole lot of smack.
She doesn't listen.
No, she does.
Does she now?
Oh, she texts me about him.
Terrifying.
She's going to be like, no, I'm nervous. No, I can't go out there and be the best athlete I can be.
Right.
She'll be fine.
I think
her stones all of her events have started to pop.
Yeah.
Like they really have. She's put in enough time to where she's gotten that little bit of feel into it.
Mm-hmm.
So her weights have popped. Her stones have popped. Her weight and her wob have come up the most. Her hammers are still lagging. Her sheaf is still odd. It's not thrown efficiently, but it'll go higher than 15.
And I think knowing the women in this group, I think because Haley is throwing, she's gonna upset points too.
Yeah, she'll steal points in wob.
She'll steal. because she's going to throw 13 in WOB. And then...
Which is the thing that, like, I love you, Haley. This isn't negative. If Haley takes fourth in several of the other events, but then first or second in WOB,
right.
That's going to be a big upset in points that could benefit someone like Nina.
Yeah.
If she can just stay in the mix in those couple of other events.
Right. Very specifically, I think that Haley is going to make the win for Nina possible here. Because I do think that Haley's going to throw over 40 feet in the lightweight.
She will. She's being really hard on herself right now. But
yeah.
I think come competition time, she's going to be fine.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of the things you have to consider with new athletes is their sports background. And while Haley, we're talking about Haley Maniple here, while she has no throwing background, she is a amateur world level strong woman, is a professional Spartan racer, has incredible times in a bunch of sports. So like her coming over and being really good at least the static events, yeah, that makes sense. You know, she's going to turn a caber, or she should be able to turn a caber like these athletes with previous strength abilities, losers.
Yeah, like really the weights are what will kick most people in the teeth. You know, it is what it is. Strength will get you by to a certain point, and more so in the women's division, honestly, than in the men's nowadays. The talent pool is just so deep in the men's that you're going to run into people who know how to throw and are strong. Whereas in the women's division, you're going to get lucky, and if you're just the strongest one there, it's going to help. Yeah. All right. Lloyd game predictions. We can go ahead and just throw these out there too. I think Matt McDougall wins the pro class because he's the only one there.
I have a strong suspicion.
I
have invited other people, to be clear.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, I have.
Why haven't you told me about this?
Yeah, well,
because I debated asking other people, and I was like, I need to talk to you.
It's the same weekend as Crystal.
Yeah,
right.
It's really tough.
Yeah, so all the people that are actually being paid to throw are being paid to throw. And
Crystal and Stone.
Right. So like it's we picked the worst weekend for having our friends come out. Yeah.
But you guys have seriously actually shown up. I think we only have like 20 or 21 spots left out of 60.
We have like 39 athletes.
Yeah, we have almost 40 people signed up, so that's pretty dope. You guys rock. There's actually almost too many open men.
Yeah.
Like, you guys slow down. Everyone else sign up, open men, take a breather, come volunteer. Right. So we'll take that into account when we do the game in April. We may have an A and a B class.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I know Mazda doesn't, but we're not Mazda.
Yeah, no. We're whatever we want to be, buddy. So Lloyd games, I think I win. I love all of you showing up. There are only... So there's two what I would call good throwers, and then there's one wild card that'll come, right? So Bryce and Justin are coming. And I think it'll be similar to what happens at Radford, but I don't have any other big, well-rounded competition. So, like, what'll happen is Bryce may get me on lightweight and a hammer, you know? And maybe Braemar. And Justin will maybe get me in a stone here or there, or wob.
Right.
But I don't think that we're throwing all 9, so beating me in 2 events or 3 events, even by a point, because there's also not enough other good throwers, right? So if there's only 3 of us that are consistently good, even if both of them beat me in an event, and then I beat both of them at 3 events, I'm going to come out on top, you know? Like
there's also, of the people you've listed, you have the best wob, don't you?
Justin has thrown 14
right.
In somewhere in Nazca at one of these games no one else was at.
So I think Bryce...
But he doesn't consistently throw 14.
Right. I think Bryce, unfortunately, is fucked in this because all the people I'm bringing into the sport from the gym and from other strongman competitions...
They're going to throw 12 and 13.
They're going to throw 12 and 13. So, like, if you're not throwing... If you can't no-miss 13... then
you're going to have a harder time.
It's going to be hard.
Or move up to 14 and
right.
potentially hit it, you know? Like lately, I've been more inconsistent at 13 than I've ever been, but I've also had a PR season in WOB where I've hit 14. So,
right.
You know.
So there could be some shakeups there. And there could be some shakeups in, like, the Braemar stone also.
Yeah. So there's another guy, the guy with the really interesting last name that
Thunder?
we talk. No.
Which one?
It's a kind of Italian sounding last name.
Actually, yeah, John.
Starts with a C.
Yeah, he's the head throws coach at a university in Richmond, Virginia. I don't remember the one. They have a Panthers mascot.
Yeah. So what makes that hard to gauge from my side is his last game was in 2018.
Correct.
And he threw really good numbers.
Right.
His numbers were comparable to mine.
Right.
Like, if he threw his best game ever from that game 5 years ago,
right,
we'd fight for it.
So,
but
John has had some back injuries. At the same time, John is also a current 55-plus meter discus thrower. And so when it comes to, like, the lightweight, I think it's going to carry over instantly. I think he's going to be able to step right back in.
Yeah. I think, you know what? Hang on. Let's pause this for a second. I'm going to look at my sheet.
All right.
I put it in Excel, so it doesn't matter. I think when I still ran the numbers even, I think what I did is any event that me and him tied on, I gave the edge to me just because of games experience. You know? So, like, if our WOB PRs were the same, I assumed that I could still beat him. You know?
Right.
And did the same thing with Pierce, because our WOB PRs are technically the same. But I know that most any competition I've been to with Justin, I usually beat him on countbacks if we tie at a height. So I think even putting his 2018 numbers in there, I think my breakdown for Lloyd's was still me, then Bryce, then him.
Right.
Which I think is reasonable.
I do too. He's a pretty good shot putter too, considering he's a pretty good Highland Games shot putter based off of his shot put numbers for someone that never throws it.
Because assumedly he could still power throw and potentially win an event.
Yeah,
if you've got that many years experience shot throwing,
I think he can power throw 40 feet, like in the open at least.
And that's what I'm saying. I'd have to get close to my PR in order to beat a 40-foot throw.
Right.
Which, by the way, guys, I've been playing with we talked about this a little bit in the other one turn. I've been playing with the decathlete throw. I had 3 practice throws over 40 the other day. Back to the whole try less thing. I was like, let me just fool around and do this. And I threw like 40, 42, 42 and a half. And like 2 of those would have been PRs. So
John, I'm hoping we can recruit into the games more consistently. Because again, he's just in the area and he'd be a solid A thrower. So
yeah.
He actually, I think, is about to be a Masters thrower.
Because I think what helps me to, what'll be nice. Okay, let's, knowing nothing about the guy. I've never met him. I'm sure he's great. What tends to help me when a collegiate thrower steps in is sheaf, caber, wob, all of that stuff, right? So I don't mind trading points in stones and weights because I'm going to catch you on the height events and the static events. And then those are the places where someone like Justin is going to challenge me, but that's okay because I caught you in weights and hammers, you know? So I think overall for the day, I still catch it. I think with Justin signing up and then John as well, I think that changed it from a 9-point game for me, potentially, to like a 13-point game, you know? But I think it's still very doable for me to win without anything crazy. Now, my own personal goals, I'd like to throw 30 feet at Lloyd's. Like, if I don't throw it at Radford, I want to throw it at Lloyd's. I want to throw a 30-foot sheaf before the year's out. Because based off of my own prediction numbers for myself, and as well as height events started going, and as well as my hammers took off there in the middle of the season, I actually could leave my hammers alone, not PR them. Squeak out a small Braemar PR, a small open stone PR, I think a small heavy, and a 30-foot sheaf, and I think it would put me somewhere close to 6,400 points before the end of the year.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right, because I'm just a hair over 6,300 right now. And so I think instead of trying to PR all events, I could then break it down to 3 or 4, and one of those being sheaf, because height events just get you so many points. So yeah, 30-foot PR at one of these next 2 games would be pretty snazzy, and I'd like to hit a... before the year's out, I want to get close to 33 in the heavyweight. I think my PR right now is 31.10 or something like that. So I think bumping that to 33 is pretty doable. What I'd like to see happen that may happen, but it's hard to call when, is I'd like for playing around with this 2-turn in the lightweight to pay off and to pop like a 65 out there. I think it's super doable. It's going to be one of those things that'll come one day. Like, you can't really grind out 4 feet because to go from a 61-foot 1-turn up to a 65-foot lightweight, is just going to be one of those times where the timing suddenly starts to make sense to my body, and it jumps. Which, looking at Matt.
You should. I mean, you're good for 30 feet in the sheaf if you have another decent day.
Yeah,
that's already 50 points. So like, yeah, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. By hitting a 30 sheaf and then just squeaking out small PRs and like my heavyweight, I think I still have more to milk out of before the season ends, and I think my Braemar too.
I think you have like 2 more feet in your heavyweight. Honestly.
That's what I'm saying. I think I should hit 33 plus by the end of the year.
And something to point out is Radford has a really good Braemar stone. Like they have a really good open, they have a really good Braemar. Consistently, I PR on Chad's stone because I can just tuck it well, and I think that's true for you too, right? Like
it's a good stone for me. I don't hate it. I like their Braemar more than their open.
Agreed.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I always thought it was open like shit, but that Braemar,
the tape just feels weird. It upsets my tism.
Yeah, but yeah, so like I might throw 33 on that day, so. And 2 feet in Braemar is fucking...
That's what I'm saying, because going from 31.10 to even 32.5 would be a sizable jump, points-wise.
So, a foot is worth 15 points, about. Yeah. So, yeah, if you got 2 feet, then you would
30 points.
Then
so that and a 30 sheaf would be 80 points. I'd be almost at 64. Yeah. That'd be nice. And honestly, I'd like to feel an open stone PR playing around with this decathlete thing. Because honestly, even what got my... Openstone to jump this year was doing the decathlete in practice and then gliding in comp and just feeling that
it's a good
aggressive kickback.
And like 2 feet in the heavyweight, which like I've watched you throw 33 feet. So 2 feet in the heavyweight would be 40 points.
Yeah.
So like that's
we'll hit 65 by the end of the year. Fuck.
Potentially.
If anyone wants to sell me some trim, no, I'm just kidding. But that'd be it. Dude, if I went out at 65 for the year, that'd be ecstatic. But I know how my body feels right now, and it's kind of beat up. So I think pulling it out on 3 events and maybe not 5 is reasonable.
Right.
But it'd just be like that. So, and then Richmond will just be for shiggles.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, Richmond will be fun. And it'll just be whatever it be. Like if by some weird thing, I don't even want to say if I haven't hit a 30-foot sheaf, because if I haven't hit a 30-foot sheaf, you guys probably will never hear me on the podcast again because I'll have killed myself. Drink. But like that'll be the end all be all for like a point in an event or two at the end of the year. But I don't even know who's going to throw it, Rich. I don't know what the deal will be. My usual competition for Richmond has all gone pro. Unless Patty comes up.
Patty's going to throw Richmond.
Okay, then second.
I vote Patty's winning Richmond.
Yeah, like the guy with 7,100 points. Yeah, he might.
Yeah.
Because typically, like in years past, anytime I've thrown Richmond, I got beat by the Blatnicks. And then I got beat by Thor. And then, like, all people that don't throw in the area anymore. So usually that late in the year, all the people that were typically an issue don't throw anymore in my division. But now Patty's there. God damn, none of you can let me have shit.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to say in talking about end of the year plans here, Matthew?
No. My only end of the year goal here is to have a decent open again and to have a decent heavy. My heavy as a pro is shit. I think I'm at like 34 feet, which again, comparatively, is just bad. For the pro class, that is not good. So I'm also more than 10 feet off my PR in lightweight. Everything else is fine. I got a lot of work to do. I'm very happy with how the season went. I have invites for next year, so none of this actually matters unless I don't do better next year. If you don't know how pro invites work, they generally go off of your points for the last 2 years. Some places will look at your amateur scores, most won't. But for Celtic Classic, it's an entire year, but that year starts
with the previous
4 months before the end of the year. So it starts in whatever, I don't know.
August.
Yeah, so all of my pro games that I've done will count for next year's Celtic. Not that I know that I'm going to... I doubt you have to be a 7,700 plus athlete for Celtic at this point. You have to have 7,000 points without Caber. So we'll see how much I can push. But yeah, I've actually had a PR as a pro already, so we're just... we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it live. I'm so ready for an off-season.
And then here's the part of where I guess we should act like we're professionals. So if you guys haven't already, and if you want to, and if there's still time by the time I get this edited, go sign up for the Lloyd Highland Games. It's on Iron Podium. It's at a link in our bio. You are not promised an athlete shirt at this point.
You actually won't get one. I already ordered them.
Yeah, they've been ordered. If we, by some miracle, end up with the extras, you're going to have to pay extra for them.
Yes.
Like, it just is what it is. So you missed out on that, but you can still hang out, and you'll still get fed, and you'll still have fun. What else should we plug into here? Upcoming guests. So we are hopefully, I'm going to throw this out here on here because both of these people have told me they're all in. We just have to get the scheduling figured out. So we're hoping to get the Throw Bros themselves on here. Mike Beach and Aaron George. That is in the works. We just have to figure out a time that works for both of their schedules because we're trying to have them both on. Give you guys a real has-been special.
Yeah.
And then the legendary man himself, Tom Soroka, is going to join us for a special episode mostly focusing on exercise selection. So if you don't know who any of those people are, go find them online, go follow them, and hopefully before the end of the year, we're going to have all of them on for their own sort of episodes and all that sort of good stuff. So, and we're working on more. There are other awesome people that have asked to be on here, and it's not that we don't want you guys, just we got to figure out logistics. It's got to line up with me and Matt's schedule because I don't want to have Matt remote. I'd like to have at least someone else in the room with me. I'd like to have everyone in the room. That's optimal, but we'll work something out there. Maybe we'll reach out to some people while we're at Radford and get something done. So
I would expect a couple to come out first week of November surrounding Richmond simply because we have more people around us again. Anytime we have a game, expect more.
Yeah, we're going to try and get you guys some more stuff with actual athletes on here because it's pretty fun. I think that's the ultimate direction we want to take this in. You guys don't just want to listen to us.
Let's ask Thor for Radford.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, that's it. We're out of here, guys.